Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're taking one tiny little horror story and we're putting it right under the microscope. The goal here is to break it down, piece by piece, and really understand the mechanics of what creates that feeling of dread that, let's be honest, we all know and love. The abandoned asylum on the outskirts of town was said to be haunted. Just listen to that. Let it hang in the air for a second. In one single sentence, you get an isolated location, a history of suffering, and a supernatural threat. The story is already doing so much heavy lifting before we even meet a single character.
Okay, so let's dive right into this. We're going to treat this story not just as entertainment, but as a blueprint for fear. We're going to pop the hood, look at the engine, and turn this little piece of fiction into a full-on case study of how you build terror from the ground up.
So first things first, every single great horror story, whether it's a campfire tale or a blockbuster movie, it begins with its foundation, a specific place, and a dark history. This is the soil where the fear first takes root.
Think about it like a recipe. The story starts with all these classic horror ingredients. You've got an abandoned asylum, you've got spirits, shadowy figures, whispers, even a stormy evening. These are tropes for sure, but they're used for a reason. They're like a narrative shorthand that taps directly into a library of fears we already have. The author doesn't need to explain why an abandoned asylum is scary. We already feel it.
And all those ingredients we just saw, they combine to create one incredibly powerful thing: atmosphere. It's the mood, the feeling the story gives you. You know, it's that dread in the air, the chill on your skin, before the first door even creaks open. The story is building an entire world of fear for us to step into. All right, let's see how this builds. A scary place is just a scary place until someone decides to go inside. And that's where the story introduces the human element, the catalyst that's going to set this carefully built machine of fear into motion.
And there it is. A group of friends decides to explore. This moment right here, this is the inciting incident. This is the decision from which there is no turning back. The whole story just shifted gears, from a passive legend we're hearing about to an active investigation. Our characters have just chosen to cross the threshold.
It's the classic question, isn't it? As the audience, you're sitting there shouting, "Don't go in there!" But their decision is absolutely crucial. These characters are our surrogates, they're our stand-ins, and they're walking into a danger that we can see plain as day, but they, in their bravery or foolishness, choose to ignore.
So, they're inside. How does the story keep us on the edge of our seats? Well, it doesn't just throw everything at us all at once. Nope. Instead, it masterfully escalates the tension through a very specific sequence of discoveries.
Look at this path to fear. It's just a brilliant progression. It starts with general exploration, creeping through corridors. Then they discover something specific and mysterious, the sealed room. Then it becomes sensory. They feel that eerie energy. And finally, deprivation. They lose their primary sense when the lights go out. Each step takes us and them deeper and deeper into the unknown. And that sealed door, it is so much more than just a door. It's a huge psychological trigger. It represents a question that demands an answer, a secret that just has to be revealed. It's the very embodiment of the unknown. And our minds are hardwired to want to know what's on the other side, no matter what the cost.
Okay, now we've arrived at the story's climax, the final turn of the screw. And this, right here, is where its true genius lies. Let's analyze why this specific choice of ending is so psychologically devastating and so incredibly effective.
Plunging them into darkness.
And that's it. That's where the story ends. It just stops. So why does that final, abrupt plunge into blackness hit so hard? Well, the answer lies in what the story chooses not to show us.
This is the crucial difference between revealed horror and implied horror. Revealed horror shows you the monster. You see it, you understand it. But implied horror, that forces your own mind to create the monster. By plunging us into darkness, the story denies us any resolution. It doesn't define the threat, which means the threat can be anything at all. It's limitless, and it's personalized to our own deepest fears. And this is the ultimate takeaway. The story's real power comes from what it holds back. It basically hands the job of being the monster over to the most creative and terrifying force it knows, our own imagination. We become active participants in creating our own fear. So as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this thought. The story used a sealed room to represent a terrifying unknown, but we all have sealed rooms in our own minds, don't we? And the most effective horror, The kind that really gets under your skin. It doesn't show you what's behind the door. It just turns off the lights and lets you listen to whatever's scratching on the other side.